this spring game? What are you most curious to see?
We've got a lot of work done here this spring and put our guys in a lot of situations. We did a lot of situational work today in practice, kind of had a half practice, half scrimmage. So we've had a lot of answers, a lot of questions be answered already. The biggest thing is in a spring game situation, just watching our guys compete in front of a large crowd. Some guys, when the lights come on, so to speak, they elevate their games and take it to another level, and some guys, the moment, unfortunately, it's too big for them. So I'm just eager to, see some of our young guys and how they perform in front of a crowd.
How do you plan on splitting up the work? Are you going to use JC and Trey, or do you?
Yeah, we'll use them. I want to get those guys in there and get them some work. Obviously, wanted to get some young guys some work as well. We're still trying to kind of finalize on a little bit as far as how the format will be and who's going to be doing what with which group and things like that. But, all the backs will play and some more than others.
I know the recruiting cycle gets moved up further and further every year. How much or how important is this sort of as an event for the recruiting calendar, just showing guys what it's like here, what the atmosphere is like?
Yeah, it's huge, and we'll have a lot of prospects here this weekend. Just going through kind of the preliminary list as of Tuesday, it's probably one of the best, if not the best group that we've had for a spring game. At least in my years here at Tech. The guys that are coming in, and then there'll be more, coming as well. But it's a huge tool. A lot of these guys, they go out to other people's spring games, and when you can get them on campus at Virginia Tech and let them see what the atmosphere is here in Blacksburg compared to other places, it's always good. And a lot of our guys have been different places, and this will be another opportunity for them to see Virginia Tech either for the first time or the second time, and certainly it's a great chance to make a first impression for those guys and show how important football is here at Virginia Tech.
Considering how early a lot of these guys make their decisions, is this almost kind of replacing the official visit or taking part of that
Yeah, no, in a lot of ways. I can remember J.C. Coleman committing at the spring game, I believe. Committing at the spring game. C.J. Rivas committed at the spring game. Those are just guys off the top of my head that I can think of. So yeah, absolutely. Hopefully at this point, a lot of these guys have already been on your campus, and now it's a chance where they feel good about Virginia Tech, and then they come back and they see what the atmosphere is for a spring game, and it even elevates Virginia Tech even more. Or some guys, it's their first time here to Virginia Tech, which we've got some of that going on this weekend. It's a great chance for them to see Virginia Tech for the first time and hopefully get blown away by what it's about.
How much do you think it'll
Look forward to the spring game for a spring game, or just because it means spring's almost over?
Indeed, we're excited. We've been preparing this whole couple of weeks, 5 weeks, and whatnot. So,
how do you feel about your spring and how it's gone? Do you feel like you've made any strides?
Definitely, just trying to be consistent, stuff like that, and just trying to get better overall as a player.
When you look at some of the other guys at defensive end, do you feel like, and obviously Ken's not practicing right now, but do you feel like there's a good group there, enough depth at that position?
Definitely. I think we have a lot of assets, a lot of players that offer different things, so we're looking good.
Vinny made the move there. What have you seen? Does Vinny fit at defensive end?
Of course. Vinny definitely can play defensive end. That's where his heart's at, number one. So I have a lot of faith in him and what he's capable of doing, and our future's bright.
I didn't notice you kind of taking some of these guys aside, especially now you being a senior, going on being a senior still last year. Is that something that's just kind of come naturally, or do you feel like you kind of really made an effort to really kind of coach these guys and bring them along?
That's natural, just because, I'm a guy that's been in their shoes, and I'm a guy that's been gaining experience over the past year. So, I could just give them some tips here and there, and just, continue the tradition and stuff like that. So that's all I try to do.
The offense seems like it's made some progress this spring. As a defensive guy, are you excited because you're going to have more points for you in the fall, or are you just ticked off when they score on your defense?
Initially, as soon as, if any success the offense is having, we're going to be mad as a defense. That's just our swagger. But overall, just as a team, looking at the whole team, whatnot, I love what's going on. I love this team. I love what we have to offer on both sides. And I think we have a great team, and the future's bright.
What have you seen from Michael Brewer this spring? Does he seem like he's taken another step?
Oh, definitely. Just being a leader. Just being a leader on the other side of the ball, and just just leading his troops.
Do you think at all about, I mean, you've got some key guys who are out, I mentioned Canada, like Luther and Corey. Do you think as you're out there, like, man, what's it going to be like when we're full strength and we have all these guys?
It's just exciting to know that we're good right now, and we know that we could be better, and we're gonna have a lot of guys with experience coming back. So it's not like we're gonna have to sit back and just working on technique. So that's exciting. That's what I'm trying to say.
I saw on the roster you have another name.
No,
on the roster?
I don't. It's not that I have another name.
Okay.
I'm carrying my middle name. It's always been there. Just like as you can see, like on the website, it was Daddy Nicholas without my middle name, just because I don't say much about it or whatnot. But it's always been there. Or you'll see sometime my name is spelled Daddy with the L, then Nicholas. It's just been my middle name, just because I learned a little history behind it that's making me want to carry it and whatnot.
Do you mind sharing what that history
Yeah,
was?
sure, why not? It's just my grandpa's middle name. That's where it originally came from. My father's letting me know, told me that's why he gave me that middle name, because it's like my grandpa's like 94 years old, so I'm carrying his name, so it's like family.
Is he still in
Alive?
Haiti?
No, he's
Or
in
is
New
he-
York.
He's in New York. Okay.
Yeah, so.
How do you pronounce that middle name?
Lom
Long.
is French, so my name is pronounced. It's supposed to be in French. It's like Daddy Lom Nicholas. Yeah, Daddy Lom Nicolas.
Are you close with that grandfather? What's your relationship with him?
My grandfather. This is actually gonna be my first time meeting him when I go meet him this upcoming whenever I do it.
Do you have plans to do it already, or just?
I mean, it's in the process. It's working itself out a little bit.
So sometime this summer, I guess.
No, it's more like got exams, got to handle that. Got to handle what's in front of me. So just got to knock out these exams first, and then once I have free time, I'm out of here.
When Scott Leffler got here, he talked about how much he wanted to use the tight end, and he said he thought you could be a 70-catch guy. And now, obviously, that room has some more guys in it. But do you still feel like he views you as having that kind of an impact with this offense?
Oh, yeah, I believe so. I think also being able to match up against linebackers and being faster than them, and then being bigger than cornerbacks and safeties. So I think there's a mismatch there, and I definitely have a big year receiving.
He seems like originally he wanted a lot of two tight end, and then you can kind of work from there before you snap the ball. Has he still got a lot of that? Have you worked on a lot of that this spring, or is it
Two tight end sets?
Double tight end sets, and then
Oh, yeah.
what is that kind of a challenge does that present to the defense when you can line up that way?
I think it's a big challenge for the defense, especially because you could have two tights on the line, and it's either be a pass or a run. I mean, and you could also split us out and run the ball outside, have leverage on them, have bigger guys blocking smaller guys. So I think it's a real beneficial to have two tight ends out there.
Bucky presents that, obviously, when they split him out wide and do all those things. When you watch Bucky, what do you think of what he's able to do?
I think when he first moved tight end, there was a lot of things he needed to improve on, but he still is a freak athlete. And this spring, I think he's took a huge step, and he's been improving a lot, and he's just had a hell of a spring, I think.
You've dealt with some injury stuff. Now in spring, are you completely healthy?
Yeah.
Does it feel good to not have, you're coming off a surgery, you're coming off, or you need a surgery? Does it feel good to just be normal?
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, the year I had shoulder surgery was probably the toughest year I've ever had in my life, and it just feels great to be out there and just keep playing.
When's the last time you were 100%? Like I know you are right now, but when's the last time you were? Maybe like when you were a
Ohio
sophomore?
State.
Ohio State last year?
I rolled my ankle against ECU, and then I was out for a few games and really wasn't that healthy, but
Mindset or anything?
What have you seen from Michael Brewer this spring? And he was pretty good for you guys last year, but have you seen a stride or a development in him?
yeah, I mean, he started off the spring with a little back tweak. He wasn't feeling too good, but he came back to that scrimmage and threw 5 touchdowns and did the stuff that Michael Brewer does. And I think he's taking strides, and I think he's going to have a hell of a year.
guys have scored quite a bit this spring. Do you guys feel like it's turning the corner?
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Like I said, we came in here with a different mentality this spring than previous springs, and that I've played in. And I feel like offense coming along. Finally, everybody knowing what to do, and it's just a different mentality.
How frustrating was that for you to have the ankle at the end of last year and then have to watch those last couple games?
That's pretty frustrating. It was my first time being out of games, if that makes any sense. Since I came here, I've been playing, so it was kind of frustrating watching. Not be able to contribute, but I was there, with Wade. He did a phenomenal job filling in, but it was frustrating. But
What exactly was it?
it was a high ankle sprain, bad high ankle sprain. Ended up having to have a procedure, and got tight rope on my ankle, so I'm all fixed up now.
How much progress has Wade made now that he's 20 pounds heavier and got some experience under his belt?
Yeah, Wade's come along well. It's funny. Augie was talking the other day. Wade was a D tackle a year ago, and it's just amazing how he's come along and picked up on things, and now he's the starting right tackle. That's an amazing story, and I tell Wade every day, just keep fighting, man.
That starting group, you guys seem more physical than you were a year ago. Is that just from everybody being a year older and stronger, or is that from more adopting Stacey Searles' mentality as a coach of how he's trying to get you to play?
It goes with both. I feel like we had a good offseason as a group, and knowing what to do is very important. And now that we had a second-year coach, Coach Searles, we got that mentality, and like I said, we changed the mentality this upcoming spring. So it's a lot different, but it's going for the better.
Being back on the left side, do you feel more comfortable there? Do you like it on the right better?
I can do it either way. Whatever is right, good for the team, I can do it.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
How are you? Good. How are you? Not too bad. Do players look forward to spring games, or is it just fans that get all jacked up for this?
It's fun. 14 practices, and then kind of get to have a little bit of a, game day atmosphere kind of a deal. It's fun. It's fun to see all the young guys get to experience that and kind of get somewhat of an experience of what game day is like. I came to the spring game last year up here on a visit, so I got to see kind of the atmosphere, the fans. It was a good crowd, so hopefully the weather's good, we'll have a good crowd and, finish off spring ball on the right note.
Did that impact you at all, that visit, or were you already sold, or was that in the process?
I was pretty much on board by that point, but it was, it didn't hurt to see all the support that we had from the fan base, and then obviously just kind of see what game day is like here in Blacksburg.
How important is this tight end position going to be? You've had some injuries, Malik the first year, and then Klein last. How important do you think the tight ends are going to be this year?
Very important. If you think about it, you got Bucky, Malik, Calvin. Now you got X kind of in the mix. Having those guys and being able to utilize what they do well, which is they can stick their hand in the ground and be a run blocking tight end, or they can flex out and be involved in the passing game. When you've got that kind of versatility at that position, that much depth, it's going to help our play action game. It's going to help our run game. So if those guys can stay healthy, we're looking to have them make a big contribution to this offense.
How much of a luxury is it to be able to throw it to Bucky? It looked like in the scrimmage the other day, you guys went 2 downs and they got the 3rd down. You're like, screw it, we're just going to throw it up to Bucky in the corner.
The guy who's 6'6", 250, that can run like that, it's a big matchup problem. What are you going to do? You're going to evade the box and play zone and force us to run the ball and if we're having success running the ball and you start loading the box up and playing man coverage, now you got to put your best guy on Bucky, which frees up Isaiah and Cam. And so a guy like Bucky, he just creates mismatches all around the field, and it's just a constant chess game with him.
It seems like jump balls are kind of his specialty. If you see him lined up on like a 6-foot defensive back, do you look at that right away when you're at the line?
Yeah, anytime we get down there in the red zone and we flex him out, and the team's going to play man coverage on him, play up in his face, obviously there's usually going to be a size advantage. So we've been working on it a lot with him, going up and getting the ball, attacking it at his highest point, kind of using his size and strength, to box out a defender up there. So he's been doing a really good job. You guys probably saw a couple of those in the scrimmage. So we're working on that daily, and I think that'll be a critical part of the offense, especially when we start getting down there close to the end zone.
You mentioned those one-on-ones. Guys are making more of those plays. Have you noticed that this spring, that Isaiah, Cam, guys just seem more confident?
Yeah, I think some of the biggest improvements that we've made on offense, everybody's got their own opinion, but I think the offensive line is taking a huge step forward. They've played really well together. They're communicating. They're giving us time to throw the ball. We're running the ball well right now. They're a lot more consistent. So it's been fun to watch them develop. And then also, like I hit on earlier, is just winning one-on-one matchups. Teams playing one-on-one coverage. Different kinds of man blitzes and stuff like that. You got to go up and be able to make a big play. And where timing was lacking last year, we've kind of dug deep and gotten a lot of that timing down, especially with Isaiah and Cam and Bucky. So, utilizing their size and speed and what they do best when teams play man coverage, because we do see a lot of it from our defense. So, developing in that is going to be a big part of our success, being able to go out and make big plays and have explosive chunk plays that really puts defenses in a bind.
Where's your confidence level in the guys that aren't Ford and Phillips, trying to find some other receivers? Where are those guys at?
We need some guys to step up right now, but we've, like I said earlier, you got Malik, who's solid as all get out, and then, Newsome, between Newsome, Dimitri, and Asante, we're looking for at least two of those guys to really step up and help us big time next year and be in the rotation. And they're getting better. They're getting better as this thing goes along. There's a long way till camp. We got all of summer off season and all the throwing that we do. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes along. It's always somebody. So we'll see who comes along, and all those guys have got some experience. So that's a bonus.
When Lefty got here, he said Malik could be a 70 catch guy.
Yeah.
And now obviously Bucky's athleticism. There's some people that sort of passed him, but does he benefit from the fact that when they go two tights that Bucky's going to draw so much attention? Does that kind of free Ryan up?
Yeah, well, Malik is just about as solid of a football player, as I've been around. He's kind of the glue out there. He's the veteran. He's been in this offense for a while now, and he's a smart guy. So he's constantly telling people, hey, you're off, I'm on, ensuring that we don't get any penalties and stuff like that. He's communicating with a lot of the young guys out there. But yeah, to answer your question, like you said, Bucky does create a lot of mismatches, and defenses have to, accommodate for his size and speed and what we do with him. So a lot of times that frees Malik up, and I think with where we've come along offensively, with the offensive line and the receivers and running backs and tight ends, I think Malik is going to play a really big role this year, just because we've gotten so much better on the outside that teams are going to have to, they're not going to be able to just sit there and play man coverage on us all the time. It's basically what I'm saying. So I'm looking for Malik to have a really big year this coming year.
When you came into this spring, there was so much talk about Lefty getting to coach you for a second year. This is your first full spring, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
What's the difference? What have you gotten from this?
I just feel so much more comfortable. I feel so much better out there. Just being able to get a signal from the sideline and then visualize it in my head, and okay, if defense does this, I'm doing this, this, and that. Defense does that, doing this, this, and this. Just being really efficient with what's going on in my head and knowing where to go with the football, and when to get us into a certain play, when to get us out. Just little things like that I had a grasp on last year, but I wouldn't say that I had a great grasp on it. Didn't have a whole lot of time to learn it, and I went through a year of experiencing it, and then obviously now getting to sit down and breathe and truly learn it has been it's been great. And Lefty's hard on us, but it's bringing out the best in us. The 5 years I've been doing this is the best spring I think I've ever had. I feel great, and just continuing to get better throughout the summer after spring ball starts and translating it into camp.
Did he change anything in the fall, he didn't have time to like tinker with you. Has he done any of that? Has he changed anything in your delivery, or pretty
No.
much the?
No, we've done a lot of things that that we were good at last year. A lot of things that I'm real comfortable with, and we've been really harping on getting good at those things, and then going from there. Not really moving on before we've, I guess you could say, mastered a certain concept. So we've taken it a little bit slower this spring, but I think it's been great. It's been great the way that he's been coaching us and the way that he's been doing that. We're doing more things really well rather than a lot of things just okay, which has been good, and we can start adding stuff every day now.
McLaughlin said that